fucker, I will end you. Friendly! Not friendly, it's gun game.
It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. It's giving cat vibes.
I'm not the one in charge. That's all my wife. That's all her.
Welcome back, everybody, to More Than Parents Podcast. We are back with another episode. We're super excited to bring you guys all the juicy tea today. Again, I am Aztecan. I am here with Crash and with Cat. Again, we opened up the last episode the same exact way, guys. Thank you. We're almost at 5 mil on Instagram. We appreciate all the freaking support, guys. But today is all about the tea, ladies. When I say tea, what do you guys thinking? Some gossip, some hot gossip. There you go. Yeah,
Coffee.
We're getting a little bit older. We think of actual tea now. Earl Grey.
I think coffee.
We're all from the
Sure.
South. What are you talking about? We're thinking about sweet tea, right?
Sweet tea.
Oh, that's
sweet
in this
tea.
one.
Yeah. I've got water, not tea, but
But
it's
today
fine.
I wanted to
That's that
discuss
extra
something.
sweet Milos.
Ooh, Milos. Fancy.
Mhm.
The last thing of tea I drank was Whataburger, so
Oh, they have good tea too.
so good.
Cane's is the best.
I was reading on all the comments that we had, and on our almost 5 million view post, somebody said this is a red flag, talking about Crash's post on steak and BJ's. So that got me thinking that would be an interesting topic. Everybody has their own red flags, right? I think there's some that are unanimous. I think everybody agrees on certain red flags out there. But what are your guys' red flags? We're going to go back in time here to your dating periods. If you have one, I would call it not like just a red flag, but like maybe like an ick that maybe your husbands do to you now.
Ick.
Yeah, they turn from red flags to icks
An
because like you're like,
ick.
I married him, I dealt with him, now it's my ick. What are those? Like, so I'll start it off just to kind of get you guys in the mindset. One of my biggest red flags when I was dating, and again, like, don't come for me, people in the comments, was just like
Come
a
for 'em.
girl. No. Was just like a girl that was just like too about her career, like just too like from her appearance to like what she puts on like socials. Those things are okay, and there are some people out there that like that. I'm not saying that this is a wrong way to be, but for me personally, like I'm not. I was always trying to start a family. Obviously, I've done very well at that, right? 6 kids later,
Yeah.
but I wanted a family. I wanted a girl that if she had to stay home, she could stay home. Like that's what I was looking for. So, like for me, like a corporate type woman was not what I was looking for. So that to me, that was a red flag back in my day.
I
Crash, I
was
feel
a
like
red
yours are
flag.
going to be super interesting.
I was a walking red flag.
Oof.
Um,
Red
yeah,
flag with a pink hair.
my biggest red flag. I honestly can't think of like any red flags that I can remember in the guys that I dated, but for me, it was that I was married to that bar.
Oh, okay.
I was married to the bar first. My boyfriend came second. If the bar came calling, if my mom texted me, I could be on a date at dinner and my mom could text me and tell me, "Oh my god, Crash, nobody's at karaoke." And I would tell him flat out, "We're going to karaoke. We're going to go have a couple beers and go sing." And if they didn't like it, you can drop me off at the bar.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. So just a recap for everybody that's new listening in, Crash's family owns a bar, and she works there part-time. And that's where she kicked off her singing career. Super interesting.
Yeah, what a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Don't
I
look me
think-
up on YouTube, kids.
Oh no! Everybody look it up. Crash's husband reached out to me and said that singing voice needs to be heard. So,
Ooh.
I don't sound like that anymore. I know I don't. I don't know what I sound like, but it's not like that. Those are
All right,
old
Kat.
videos.
red flag. What was your number one when you were dating back in the day before
I don't know
Valentine's
if it's
ruined
a
everything for you?
if it's a red flag, if it's an ick, or if it's just a rule. But
Could be
just
all
to
of them.
save everybody out there, never date a team roper.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that was my ick. That was my red flag. I dated one, and ever since then it left a bad taste in my mouth.
No.
So for
Yeah,
the sake of our non-Southern friends that are going to be watching this, can you explain what a team roper is?
So it's someone who rodeos. It's a specific. Do I have to like break this down for you?
Just quickly.
Basically, they chase after a calf on a horse, and there's two of them. They rope it down. That's
One
very basic terms. Don't come at me, okay?
one of them has to rope the neck, and the other has to rope a back
The
foot.
feet. Yeah.
And if they don't do them simultaneously, they fail.
I
they
wasn't
get
gonna go
scratched.
that far.
That was just for our non-Southern friends. We apologize to our Southern friends if we butchered that up real bad. So why is
I
that a
didn't.
red flag though? Is it because they would try to rope you, or like what's?
Hey.
I said we're spilling the
Uh,
tea today. I'm just trying to
I
figure
mean,
out what's going
my
on.
high school boyfriend was into roping, but he never on a level.
No, they're just, they're always on the road. They're oh, okay. First off,
Anybody?
I am only talking from my experience. Obviously, there's probably good team ropers out there. Probably team ropers who are just fine people. In my experience, I was 18, 19. The guys were 19, 20. They were gone all the time. Just it was an endless cascade of buckle bunnies. They were
I
never
hate
faithful.
bunnies.
They were never faithful. And they were just douchebags. They had to dip in. Half of them were volunteer firefighters as well.
They're all
That's
volunteer
another ick.
firefighters.
That's another ick. Volunteer firefighters. I'm like, first off, I'm probably already in love with you, but I'm slightly
No.
like it's a red flag. It's not an ick. It's a red flag.
My
Oh.
first husband rode bulls.
I'm talking to someone specific out
was
there
a
that I
volunteer
know they might be
firefighter
watching.
too.
Let me save face here, and let's just say we appreciate all of our first responders.
I work in
We do.
healthcare.
We do.
I work in healthcare.
Shout
Even
out
the
to
volunteers.
the linemen.
Thank you so much. Yes, everybody.
You're the real heroes in this
all blue
country.
collars. You're gonna get me canceled so quick.
Listen. I have I grew up
father
with volunteer
electrician.
firefighters. Like I grew up I grew up with volunteer firefighters.
Do that again.
I've dated my fair
trying to
share
focus.
of them.
I'm not.
It's my type, but it's a red flag.
That's fair. That's fair.
That
Any
was
other
my
interesting
problem, too.
flags, Crash, out of you?
Oh my god. Don't girls don't date boys that don't have jobs.
That's solid.
Okay.
Don't date
Yeah.
boys that don't have jobs. When you in high school, that's different. But once y'all 18, seriously, if that boy can't keep a job, then he don't need to keep a woman, and you need to run.
I like how you keep saying boy, because that is a boy trait, right? Because a man.
That is a
That's fair.
definition of a boy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I like that. That's smart. I like that.
You know, I mean, my husband, when we found out I was pregnant, my husband the next day got a second job without even thinking about it. We had a baby on the way. He needed to make as much money over the next 9 months as he possibly could, and so he started a whole second
That
job.
must have been so like mentally and like emotionally settling for you. The fact that he went out and got a job, just boom, like that probably
absolutely.
took a big weight off your shoulders at that time.
Yeah, because at the time I only worked I worked 2 nights a week at my mom's bar. Granted, it was Friday and Saturday night, and I made almost $700 a week, but still, I was only working those 2 shifts,
Gotcha.
and my time behind the bar was limited because I was going to progress in my pregnancy, and eventually I wouldn't be able to sling beer anymore. So it was a crap. I'm only going to bring in this much money, but only for this long.
Right. Yeah.
And we were already rooming with people. So we were already splitting bills. And it was like, and they were pregnant too.
Being at the bar pregnant though must have been like really good at that time. Just because like I know if we have a server or something that's pregnant, my wife is like, give her everything you have. I'm like, what? Why? She is working
Yeah.
while pregnant. You give her everything. I'm like, okay. We need gas for the week, but whatever.
Yeah. See,
Gas for the week.
I'm so tiny. Honestly, it looked like even until like right at when I was like 7.5 months pregnant, it just looked like I was smuggling a basketball under my shirt. Like you could even tell I was pregnant from behind.
Can't
I
get into the
gained
movies.
12 pounds. Yeah. I gained 12 pounds and 7 of it was my son. So people actually that got more attention than anything else was how little I really was. They were just like, "Is that real?" And I'm like, $20 to see it.
Hey, that's not bad.
Put a $20 bill in there and I will show you my belly. It is real. Like there is a child in there. And I got a lot of tips when
That's a red flag.
yeah.
It's a red flag.
I got a lot of tips whenever people would ask me, "Oh, you're pregnant. What are you having?" I would say the most off the wall stuff. I was
Human.
having a velociraptor.
Crotch
We're
goblin.
we're so excited about the mogwai. Like anything and everything but telling them I was having a little boy.
For all
Because
you youngsters that are watching this potentially, a mogwai is a gremlin, okay? It's a
before
movie.
you feed it after midnight or get it wet.
They named it Gizmo. Close
Gizmo,
enough, right?
That's right.
He's
that's
not
right.
the only mogwai though.
Yeah, there are
Giz-
several. That second
Gizmo
movie
is
was
a
crazy.
Okay.
specific mogwai.
Okay, listen. Can we all agree that he's the best one?
Yeah.
Duh.
Main character.
He's the only one that matters. What's the
He
other one?
has his
Spike?
own Furby.
It's Spike, right?
I think they were trying to go for like a Snow White type deal. They had all the names: grumpy, hungry, happy, whatever.
I think I
have
remember
to pay
specifically
very-
Gizmo and Spike.
You actually have to pay very, very close attention to the first movie, the original movie, and you hear their names, but it's very few and far between, and it's always one gremlin or something saying the name to another one. So you have
Let's Google
to
it.
you have to listen. That's cheating.
Yeah,
Google.
right. So I'm going to say this, and I hope you ladies don't get mad at me. We are obviously, I don't. Okay, oof. Backtrack. Let me not get hurt tonight. We're in our 30s, so we come from a time where it was like you could free text after 5, right? Unlimited free texting after 5.
Oh my god.
5,
Right.
9.
After 9 was
9
free
PM.
calling. 9 was calling. 5 was texting. I don't know about your phone carriers, but that's how mine was. After 5 p.m., texting was unlimited. After 9 p.m., calling was unlimited.
I was
So,
kind of spoiled, so I had unlimited from the moment it was available.
there you go. I didn't have that kind of money. I paid for my own phone bill. Did not have that.
I had to
Ditto.
pay mine. I had to pay mine. My dad actually cut me a great deal. When I turned 16, he told me that he would buy me a phone, but I had to pay to keep it on.
Smart.
So I got a part-time job. My dad paid the $300 or whatever for my first little flip phone. And if I didn't pay my daddy for my phone bill, guess what?
Shut up.
That motherfucker didn't work no more.
Yeah, because
have
back
their
then it
names.
was like month to month. Like now you have contracts and stuff. Like
We've moved past that, cat.
No, I have their names. I'm back. I'm taking us back. Because I
Go
thought their
ahead.
names was Spike.
Baby,
get
come
it
back.
out of your system.
Like
What were the gremlins'
Uh,
names?
Gizmo, George, Lenny, Daffy, Mohawk,
Mohawk.
Flasher.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay.
Flasher. Phantom.
Okay. I don't remember him. Probably hence the name.
What was the girl's name?
Oh my gosh. Was she really a girl? Or was
I
that
don't
was
think
so.
that was our view into the future?
It's not big enough
That's
Oh
for
what
my
she
God.
sex
said.
life.
Yeah. Literally.
Damn.
These things were so ugly. Why did we like those? Okay, I'm sorry. I couldn't let it
It's a
let it go
Christmas
past.
movie.
I couldn't let it go past. I had to.
Facts. Just like Die Hard. It was a Christmas movie.
Yeah, that's right. Christmas, you watch Die Hard and you watch Gremlins.
Not
at
my
her.
favorite. Not my favorite Bruce Willis movie.
No, my favorite Bruce Willis movie is Hudson Hawk, and I Will Die on This Hill. Cannot change
No.
my mind. Thank you very much.
I Will Die on This Hill. The Fifth Element.
Absolutely not.
The Fifth Element.
I mean,
Man.
trust me,
Here's my red
look.
flag. Here's my red flag.
if you
I have
don't
to
like
wa-
that movie, she will disown you.
I have to watch The Fifth Element like at least 4 times a year. Probably like every 3 months.
It's one of my all-time favorite movies.
It's so
But-
good.
But if we're just talking about Bruce Willis's catalog, you have to watch Hudson Hawk with Danny Aiello.
No.
I have
I
no
Will Die
comment
on This Hill.
because is just a male actor that I'm like, okay, he's iconic, but I'm not like, you know. Anyways,
I couldn't
we're
even
in
give
our
you the footnotes on
30s.
Hudson.
So I know this red flag might seem like, hey, Unc, you're a little out of date on this one. But
Look,
my thing is, like, if you go on a date with a girl and she's on her phone the whole time, I'm done. Like, that's a red flag. Like, don't want to do it. I say that, and if my wife watches this episode, she'll laugh because, like, now as a content creator, like, I'm constantly on my phone, responding to comments or keeping up to date with, Discord and other things that are going on. Like, I'm constantly on my phone, which, like, the last 2 days, I was like, I've put it aside pretty good, not a lot. But that's one of my biggest things. Is like like for a first date, especially. Like if you
Yeah.
can't have the decency to put your phone away on the first date, what does that tell me about 6 months in when we're watching a movie together or whatever? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
to me, that's always a big one. Is like chicks on their phone. What else? What else do you guys? I know there's got to be stuff in there. Like I feel like back when I was dating, girls would have like lists like this size, just like going on.
I feel like I'm already gonna get canceled for the 2 I said, so I'm gonna.
I'm trying to think back on it.
This is the good part about not being sponsored yet, Kat. Is like there's nobody to cancel this right
Right.
Except for when my boss watches this and who's a first responder. It's like, what do you have to say for yourself?
Right. See, one of my biggest problems when I was younger, like high school and in my early 20s and stuff, was that I was always dating someone. Like I wasn't when I was single, I wasn't single for very long, so I didn't really have a
Yeah.
whole lot of pet peeves. I dated a very, very wide variety of guys. Like my husband does not track with my track record at all. Like my track record was
Yeah, solid,
uh
super good guy. Not in that list at all.
no, no, not really.
Sorry, boys.
And they were all mostly country. And then I would
Hell yeah.
sprinkle something else
Yeah.
in there here and there, but they would still kind of have a little bit of country to them. My husband doesn't
Okay.
have any. Not at all, which I love because it allows me to be myself. Because back then I wore the Justin boots and I wore the PBR belt buckle and I looked like Gretchen Wilson all the damn time because that was the dating pool for me. And my high school boyfriend and I, we were on and off a lot. So I didn't really have time to shop because he was one of those guys that when we would break up, he would tell all of the guys, don't fucking touch her. I'll pick her up when I'm ready, that kind of shit. Which, it worked for him. All 4 years of high school, it worked for him. So,
I definitely have a type. Like
I used to.
even my husband kind of fits into my type. Like I like him tall. And I like
Okay.
with dark features, like dark hair, dark eyes. Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
type.
You like
Every guy
I
I
don't have
dated,
hairy
a
polar
physical
bear
type.
type man.
every guy before I married my husband played the guitar.
Guitar players are a big no-no too, girls. Guitar players are good to have fun with.
Oh god.
My daddy's a guitar player, so sorry, Dad. He was raised in a different time, ladies. Watch out for the guitar players.
They've all been guitar players and volunteer by
Jesus. You guys.
Ferg, and he looks like all my types, but he is neither of those things.
Nice.
So
I feel like I have
There
more
you go.
range than you guys. Like I've dated like
No.
super gothic chicks. I've dated super religious chicks. I've done the business type. I've done like the Buddhist like hang out at home type. Like I have way more range than you guys. It sounds like so. I
Well,
definitely had to figure out what was my compatibility gonna be. Now when it comes to looks, it's obvious. Like it's pretty easy. Just like hot brunette done. Check that.
see,
off
my
the list.
problem was that I didn't have a looks palette. None of my exes have anything physically
mine
in
do.
common, from their hair color to their eye color to their height. Like I was a big personality person. If I could sit down with you and
Oh yeah.
talk for 3 hours about video games, music, movies, and stuff,
You had a
and we agree on it, yeah, you absolutely had a chance that I would sit down with you and do it again. And if we keep doing it, eventually, if we don't run out of stuff to talk about in a couple of weeks, that was it.
I liked the class clown. Like, if you can make me laugh, like if we can sit there and just laugh. And I mean, I think you guys can see that with my husband, who
he still is a class clown.
He's
so goofy.
he's so funny.
He's so
love him.
goofy.
He's so funny, though.
Like that's my type. But they do kind of all look alike. Sorry, hubby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
okay, so we discussed our red flags. So with those things, like when you spot what you like out in public, right? You're at a bar or at wherever you're at, the fire station apparently. When you're there and you see what you like,
Uninvite Cat to the volunteer fire department catfish fry.
So basically, when Ferg sees location and sees firehouse, he should be like, what's going on?
Damn it, those volunteer firefighters. They got her again.
Would you guys be brave enough to catcall? Would you guys catcall guys that you were interested in? Or would you guys wait to be approached? What am I speaking?
Back in the day when I was single, yeah.
You catcall?
I used to.
What type of things would you guys say on a catcall? Would it depend on the situation, time, place, person? What?
It would depend on how many cherry vodka sours I had.
Oh shit.
So I can think of one.
And how single I was.
I can think of one where I very obviously catcalled a guy, and it was the relationship I was in before my husband. We met at a local dance hall and bar, and one of my friends was
Firehouse
dancing.
adjacent.
Totally, absolutely.
No, the volunteer firehouse is down the highway. Just
oh my god. But my friend was dancing with him, and I saw him, and he fit the type. Tall, dark hair, dark eyes, wearing a volunteer firefighter shirt.
They always wear their fucking shirts.
Oh, they do. They do. And this one did.
Volunteer.
And I was like, hey, when you're
Always
done with
fitting.
him, I want to dance with him. And I tell you, if that boy didn't like hop off that dance floor, because I used to be hot. Like,
You're still hot.
But I used to be this itty bitty thing, and he hopped off that dance floor. She was pissed. He hopped off that dance floor and was like, "Let's go! Like, let's go dance."
Nice.
And then I think when I met my husband, I didn't catcall him, but I essentially said something along the lines of like, "Oh, like if you ever blah 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 blah, you should just hit me up." And he was like, "Well, I'm gonna need your number first."
And
He got your number just a 3-day rule you?
He 3-day, yes, exactly. He did the 3-day rule on me. What a tool.
What a guy.
What a
What a
tool.
guy. That's awesome.
Oh my god.
I would just say, as a male, and I speak for probably like 99.9% of men, when if I get catcalled, I would tell you, I'm riding that high for some weeks. Here I am, like probably a year later,
I know.
and I'm still riding that high. I'm still like, yeah.
Oh, I know. You called me, remember? You called me. I'm calling you out right now. This guy's at the local gas station.
All right, I'm leaving.
And gets hit on by a female trucker.
Listen, I thought she was gonna steal me. Okay, she looked like she had the strength.
And he goes,
You look like
"Oh
she
my
could
god, Kat, you're never gonna guess what just happened to me." And it's just like,
Hey, to be fair, I called my wife first and told her because I was like, babe, you'll never guess what. Listen,
Didn't you call me too?
yeah, fuck yeah, I did. Listen, yeah, okay, because I realized, and I'll tell the story here in a second. I realized how dumb I was, but that's an interesting question. Do you guys now married? If it happens, if you get catcalled now, do you tell your spouse about it? I do every time. I'm excited about it. I'm like, babe, you should have came because guess what? Like,
I don't
I'm
think I'm
saying.
excited about it. I occasionally will get hit on, but I mean, I usually have a wedding ring on.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do
So,
too. I'm a fat, overweight dude, so like when people catcall me, I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I still got it," you know, like.
but I just because of the line of work that I do, like I hate this word, networking is a thing. So sometimes people are like really overly friendly and you're like, "Are you flirting with me or are you
Yeah.
networking with me?
You're just trying to get a sell out of me? What's going on here?
What are you doing?" Because I have no power over what my company buys or doesn't buy. So
Right.
Yeah.
you can take me to dinner, but there's nothing coming out of it. Like,
Yeah. See, and me, I don't necessarily tell my husband because honestly, by the time I get home and stuff, like I don't even think about it. But that's also because I've been a bartender in a dive bar for 15 years.
yeah.
You get really numb to it. Everybody hits on the bartender,
Wow.
you
So
know.
cool to get so numb to it happening all the time. Get out of here, Crash.
It doesn't happen all the time, but that's
For
what I'm
us-
saying is when it does happen, I don't even like it's not even on my radar really.
For
And
ugly
when I'm
people
at
like me, it's a
work,
big deal, okay?
yeah, well, when I'm at work, it's just kind of I just laugh it off,
Right.
you know, because you're not trying to upset your customer.
Right.
And realistically,
Still trying to get a tip before the end of the
yeah,
night.
but it's hard to offend me. It really is. It's much easier to offend my husband than it is to offend me. And that's why I'm just like, I'm gonna go to work, babe. I love you. Stay here.
So that's interesting. Has anybody ever catcalled you in front of the husband? And did he act out?
I don't
Surely
think
nobody was dumb enough.
I don't think I can't think of any time where somebody like verbally. Well, yeah. Okay, so there was this one incident. There was this one guy. He's a real creep and stuff. Nobody likes him, but he made a comment out loud at the bar about um how big my boobs were getting while
Oh,
pregnant.
oh no.
And my husband just so happened to be standing behind him.
Oh no.
He did act on it and basically told that guy flat out that if he ever heard him say anything along those lines about me again, that he was going to finish him.
He said no video game rules. This is real
Yeah.
life.
The last guy that smacked me on the ass at work, that
Ooh.
was
Guys just
right
out here
before
being handsy? The hell?
that
Hey, you work at a
that
bar.
was right before I got pregnant though. I almost broke his arm.
As
So
you should.
I don't need my husband to defend my honor. That guy, actually had a metal bucket in my hand that I was collecting cigarette butts in and stuff, and he smacked me on the ass as I walked by, and I literally caught him by the hand and whipped around and whipped him around and stuck his arm up behind his back and told
Jeez.
him flat out, the next thing of yours that touches me, I take home with me.
Oh, jeez.
And I dropped him. Walked back behind the bar, went about my business. He was just like, crazy bitch.
That's
We're like,
awesome.
we knew that. We knew that.
Don't
I
touch
think-
the bartender.
Let's set the setting. I'm,
Oh, God.
we're from the South, so we have quick
Here
trips.
we go.
They're starting to get more popular, so some people will know. Shout out Quick Trip, all right? So I go
Sponsor
to
us.
a certain one, which is a gas station for anybody that can pick up on that. I went to a certain one that was a big one, and in the back of it, it had like a trucker stop station or whatever. Well, they were remodeling the inside because Quick Trips now have kitchens and stuff like that where they make food and whatnot. So they had turned the inside counter to where it was like double. So now the truckers were merging with regular people, right? So I'm over there and I'm just like a weirdo, and I'm just like, oh wow, look at all this cool trucker stuff. Like I'm looking at like CB radios that they're selling, like little handheld, like the attachments for the walkies and that. Looking at the gloves and all that, and there's this chick. She's standing there. She looking like a lumberjack. She got like the khaki shorts on with the boots and the flannel shirt, and I'm just like, she looked like something out of a play. Like she looked like she was dressed up as a trucker, but she's a real trucker. And she was just like, I don't remember how the conversation started. She was just like, you drive or something? I was like, no. I was like, I'm just looking. I'm just over here having fun. And she's like, oh, okay. And then we kind of get to talking a little bit. And she's like telling me that she's got a real nice rig parked back there, and it's got like the extended. It's got where you can lay in the back. And I was like, oh, that's super awesome. So like you sleep in your truck, so you do like long distance driving. She's like, yeah, I'm out for days at a time. I was like, okay, cool. Like that's super interesting. She's like, do you want to come check it out? And I was like, no, I got to get back to work because I was on my lunch break at that time. I was like, I got to get going back. Like my boss is gonna start. I have that stupid AVL freaking. They know every movement I make in my truck. I was like, so I really got to get back. I've been on break long enough playing around. And she's like, oh, okay. And she looked super disappointed. And I was like, whatever. And I walked away and I kind of thought about it and I turned around and it's just like, I was like, so you lay down in there like all the way? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, that's really awesome. I was like, I want a truck one day because, I'm a brand new baby CDL driver at the time, so I was like always wanting to get into it. And then I walk out to my truck and then my brain was like throwing flags out. It was like, hey, you were almost a lot lizard. Like,
She almost picked you up, boy.
she was trying to take you to the truck, sir. So then I got super excited and I was like, oh my God, like that like to me was flattering because she looked good. So I call the wife. I'm like, babe. And she's like, I'm at work. I don't have time for your bullshit right now. I was like, listen. Then I tell her. And she's like, cool. You're handsome today. Good job. And then hung up with me. So then not feeling satisfied, I call these two and I'm like, hey guys, guess what happened? And then of course I called your husbands and your husbands were like, hell yeah, brother. I was like, yeah. So yeah, that's my lot lizard story. So
and here it is. She's gonna comment on this video and be like, I was just trying to be nice to you.
I was
Why
just
did
trying
you
to
have to
show
take
you
it
my
there?
truck.
You were so excited. I wanted to be nice.
See, in
that
my
would
brain,
hurt. Low-key, that would hurt.
my brain, I would have sat down in my truck and my flags would have been going off and my brain would have gone, oh my God, I was just almost kidnapped.
I was almost murdered. Exactly. The difference between a man and a woman. Difference between a man and a woman. Ha, I got hit on. I was almost murdered.
I'm over here celebrating. You guys would be over there calling the cops, like, help me. That's
danger.
They're trying to get me in their truck.
But other than that, like I said, as a man, like being catcalled is one of the most flattering things, and it doesn't, personally, like to me, it doesn't matter if they look good or not, if they mean it or not, like it's just, it makes you feel good, boosts the confidence a little bit, boosts the ego a little bit, you walk a little taller the rest of the day, you're like, I'm feeling good. But I just noticed that, like, when I was on TikTok doom scrolling, I noticed I saw a video that sparked this conversation. And the lady was like talking about how disgusted she was that she can't go anywhere without being catcalled. Like, okay, cool. Congratulations for being hot. Like, sucks for you, dude. But she was just talking about how like grossed out it makes her, which I get it. Like if it happens all the time and all that, but then you get into that real deep, very tiptoey conversation of like, if it's a fat, ugly dude like me that catcalls you, it's gross. But like, if it's like freaking Channing Tatum with the abs out catcalling you, it's perfectly fine. Like that's not fair. What?
You also have to, for me, to call into question like what it is that she's doing as well. Because I'm not conceited, I swear to God. I'm actually very insecure. But as somebody who is good looking, I do not get catcalled all the time. So when I see girls on social media who are like, oh, I can't go anywhere, I get catcalled all the time. I'm like, well, yeah, your ass cheeks are hanging out from under your skirt.
That's terrible. Where?
Target.
I don't think that's always the case. I mean,
it's not.
That's not.
But that's what I'm saying, though, is like, it's got to all be taken into perspective, though. It's like, what is it that you're doing too? Is it your hair?
So basically, you're calling out the girls that are just
the way you
basically
walk?
Looking for attention on social media with it, basically. Right?
I mean, I've seen people for social media. I'm not going to mention names, but she knows who she is. I've seen them like try to pay people to do things like catcall and stuff outside of Target,
just for
like
a clip or whatever.
Yeah, like, hey, I'll give you a bucket. I'll give you a buck if you throw your best pickup line at me as I walk by. And stuff.
A bucket of what? Chicken? I'm
there. A bucket.
You said a bucket of chicken?
I'll take you to dinner at Raising Cane's if you help me make this clip in front of Target. Okay.
I'm there every time.
I'm there.
Hire me. I need
I'll
the
work for
family size
dinner.
bucket to take home. Yeah, exactly.
Those are
think
two of my favorite words on the planet: free food.
I do think it's important to distinguish though between people who are doing that for attention and real people who are, because I do think as a woman, and listen, I know that I look very pale on this screen, but as a woman of Native American, heritage, like there is increased crime with women. And it can start as something as simple as being catcalled. So I do think that there's an important distinction. Just gonna throw that out there between
Yeah.
people actively doing it for the gram, and I do think that there is an actual problem out there, and it's not just it's on social media as well. Like I see people who are men who are very good looking. Actually, Jacques the Whipper just posted something about this where he was like, I don't want to go to
Aw.
school. I don't want to go to not to schools, but
To
I don't
his
want to go to
shows.
his shows
It broke
because
my
women
heart.
are groping him. Women and men are groping him, or they're saying like inappropriate stuff like "beat me, daddy, beat me,"
Hell
like.
yeah.
Whip me, daddy. I
But
mean,
like after a certain
I'm
amount of
thinking it, but I would
times,
never yell it.
after a certain amount of times, like, yeah, obviously he dresses like that and he does a whip show, but you do have to have that respect that those are
It's still a
other fucking
person.
human. Yeah,
Well, and he's
those are
married.
people. Like,
And he's married.
oh, he is married,
Like
but
very publicly married.
no, it's a pretty recent TikTok he let out where
And
I
it
mean,
broke my
and
heart.
yeah, it's men and women. It's we're not gonna single anybody out there, but
I love how you just went straight into that. Like I was like, nice. See, cancel culture
Segue.
get you now.
like um
I love Jax the
there's
Whipper though. Big fan.
there's silly call outs, but then there's like an actual I do think that there's an actual
Well,
problem.
I mean that sucks because it's his profession that makes people feel
Yeah.
more comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
We see a lot of cases. Like I actually, and please nobody make fun of me. Let me get this out all the way before you start laughing at me. I actually just watched this documentary on Justin Bieber and like how when he was rising to fame and how often he was, touched. And I don't mean like to the extreme touched, but like treated just,
Yeah.
Like an
improperly as
object.
a 13-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 60, like,
Yeah.
people, yeah, because he was at that time, and this is weird to say because he was underage, but he was like a sex symbol for teens. Like
Yeah.
that's what he was, and
Tween
people
girls,
treated
yeah.
him that way. And
Yeah.
like that's a teenager in front of you, and you're treating him that way. So it definitely, yeah, a lot of times your profession gets you caught up into something weird,
Yeah.
So
But you're still human.
yeah,
And
at the end of the day,
it doesn't
nobody had
excuse
the
it.
right to treat any of those, like Jack or him
Yeah.
that way. Like
Yeah.
inside
I
that
think-
thing, whatever happens, like that's what he's okay with, they're okay with, cool. Like outside of that, you have to respect them as a person.
Yeah, like he's cool with the occasional heckle. It comes with the job,
Yeah.
He expects that. But like Kat was saying, it's the people screaming in the middle of his bit and throwing him off of his lines and stuff with "whip me,
Over and
daddy" and
over and
stuff.
over
Yeah,
and over.
and just laughing, and they're doing it for their own social media clips and stuff. It's
Yeah.
just it's selfish and it's ridiculous at the end of the day. And me personally, I think that catcalling, realistically, you need to trust your intuition. If you look at this particular TikTok that me and Kat are talking about with Jack, you can tell
He's
the, like,
crying.
the anguish, what makes him so uncomfortable. If you're walking into Target and somebody catcalls you and it gives you that, ugh, like,
Yeah.
it's okay to be upset about it. Like me, I ignore people, but that's because I don't like people.
I don't know. So this is an interesting side of like the topic that I was bringing up, because like for me, and I'm like I'm gonna pull a crash here. Like I don't think I'm the strongest person in the world, but like I know I'm a strong guy. I'm very very stout man. So like if something like that was happening to me, like listen, we can all, you guys can destroy me in the comments. Men should never put their hands on women, but if a woman comes to me groping me and I'm like not okay, like I'll fuck out of here, like get off of me. Like I'm not gonna just take it, and I'm very confident in myself that I can handle all that. Now somebody comes up to me like slip something in my drink and I'm done. Like, whoa, that sucks because I'm a very lightweight.
Ooh, that sucks.
Waking up like, oh shit, what happened? But
Pick
so I
up
think that's
roofies for 4th of July.
oh god.
So let's not. We're getting canceled again. Canceled.
But
More Than Parents podcast canceled.
deleted. But that is an interesting side to think of it because like to me, like I think catcall, like to me that's an exciting event, and like you guys are bringing up like people who like that's not a good thing. So
Yeah.
I think there's always I don't think there really is a time and place for it. I think between friends, like it's always funny, like when your best friend walks in, you're like, woohoo, look at that. I do it to my wife all the time. If I drop her, like
I do it
sometimes
to
I'll drop her
Crash
off
all the
at
time.
the front
All
of the
the time.
store, and then I'll go park. And as she's walking away, I put the window down. I'm like, "Whoa, mama, look at that!" Like it's being ridiculous.
do
And she
Yeah.
she hates it. She hates it every time.
Yeah.
She's like, "Stop, stop."
Yeah. My husband does stuff like that too, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my god. But like, I think in a bar setting, like a bar or a club setting and stuff, especially if you're a single woman, you kind of half expect it, and you kind of get this little sense of, when you get if you don't have a significant other and you get absolutely no male or female attention all night long and stuff, like you actually kind of, so every once in a while a cat call, like Aztec has said, can boost your
Boost your
self-esteem,
confidence.
and
Yeah.
every once in a while it can give you the skivvies, and if it gives you the skivvies, go the other way.
Yeah.
Don't look at them.
I think that's sad though, because we're at a time in society where like you can't even like as a man recommend going out by yourself anymore. Like as a guy,
Yeah.
a guy can't really go out by themselves. They can, but they shouldn't. Girls can, they shouldn't.
Yeah.
It's like literally something we were taught as children is buddy system. I teach my children buddy system. Like we just went to the zoo.
Buddy
We
system.
had buddy system in place.
Grab your dying buddy.
Yeah.
Grab your dying.
And then even nowadays, like nobody's safe to go out alone. And that's so
Not
bad.
really.
I hate that.
No,
So
because people are crazy.
I mean, you're
People are
safe at my
disgusting.
bar. If you need some place to drown your sorrows and you don't want nobody to talk to you and you all by yourself, come on in, because I got 4 bar stools perfect for you. And nobody's gonna bother you.
Are we going to the bar on 4th of July?
Possibly.
I feel like we should.
My
It'd be
mom
fun to see
does
where you're always talking about.
Yeah.
my mom does a fireworks show there. So what we'll probably do is everybody buy a bunch of fireworks, and instead of popping them off in front of my house, we can just pop them off at the
Contribute to the
bar.
bar. Yeah.
Mhm.
Whatever
Is
you
it
want.
is it a family friendly event?
Yes,
Because we all
absolutely.
have a shit ton of kids. Yes.
There will be a shit ton of kids.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Anyways, to wrap it up today, okay, one more comment that I was noticing quite a bit in our comment section on Instagram is people, guys and girls alike, were like, "Oh, this reminds me of my ex." Everybody's talking about their ex in our comment section when referring to steaks and BJ's. I don't know. Thinking of those two things or making people reminisce of their ex. What is your guys' opinion on getting back with an ex or being with an ex? Because it seems like some people in the comment sections were like, maybe I should call her. Like, I don't know if they're trying to be funny for
No.
the memes or like what's going on there. But both of
Don't
you guys
do
are saying,
it.
I can't even finish talking. You guys are like, no.
Don't do it.
But
No.
they changed, I swear.
No, they don't.
No.
No, they
They're
don't.
different.
No, they're
that-
not.
90% of the time they are the same person that you walked away from. Just be like me, just backpedal, and just revisit,
Yeah.
and then find somebody new after you've revisited everybody in the black book.
So it's just a flat no. Like there's no levels to it. There's no situations.
I mean-
there's no...
When I was single, like I absolutely did it, and every time I regretted it. They don't change.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously people can change, but in this scenario, they never changed. They never got better. They only got worse.
Yeah.
I had to
Don't
kick
do it.
I had to kick mine to the curb. The one
yeah.
that I was on again, off again with quite often. Like that was the only time I ever like got back with an ex, but we wouldn't be broke up for long. So a totally different scenario, essentially. at least in my mind. And
Yeah,
I
I
had
don't.
to like get away from
Sure.
him for him to change.
And you know, that's the funny part is like sometimes after you finally let those things really go, then they decide to change for the next person, and then you're sitting there kind of low key salty because you're like, why couldn't you do that for me? Like,
Oh, I was
you know,
so salty.
I
That
feel that.
happened to me.
I'm a
Yeah,
That
lessons learned kind of person, so I'm always like, I'm really,
yeah.
you know, so glad that I could be that lesson for you because you taught me that I shouldn't date assholes.
firefighters.
Fire,
Here we go
not
again.
firefighters. Volunteer fire.
Volunteer.
Volunteer fire.
My cousin is a firefighter,
So,
and he was also a marine. So
I mean, I like everybody when they're young. You know, I definitely went back a couple of times, and I think, like you said, as long as you learned your lesson from that, you know,
absolutely,
I
you
think you're better
should.
moving forward. But I just
Yeah,
think it's so funny because like you know, there's such a stigma of like you know you should never go back. And I to me personally, I think it's like timing. Like obviously, like if you met this person and you like dated them in like high school, and then you find them, you know, years later, you know, obviously that's a lot of time between you guys. Maybe something could rekindle and spark, be different. You hear stories like that all the time. Um, depending on what happened in high school, Cat. Like if they were just a dirty hoe out there, then probably not going to change. You know, probably been ran through 5 times over.
I
But
mean, my husband is like my biggest case of getting back together with an ex. Technically, my husband and I we dated in 2010 for 2.5 months. And I fell head over heels for him. He broke up with me. I mean, but he cheated on me back then. I was
mm,
20, he was 24. We were just puppies. He didn't go looking for it, but if it came knocking, he didn't know how to say no.
most
So, you
pathetic men
know.
are that way. Yeah.
So, but he broke up with me and we were friends for 5 years and then we rekindled things, but you know, that took time too. We started flirting and stuff and it just kind of happened. I knew it was going to happen. As soon as he started looking my direction again, I was like, "Uh-oh." I feel bad for the guy
Daddy-o.
who's yeah, I feel bad for the guy who's, in the way of this because this is happening.
Yeah. I think that's one of the greatest lessons my mom left me with would be, you know, as long as you've learned from each person that you were with, doesn't matter what, as long as you learned something, you know. So kind of that because that helped me because I had a long little stretch where I was single and not looking, not wanting, you know,
Yeah.
like of course, like at that time I was still young, you know, very high testosterone level where I was still wanting certain things, you know. But even at that point, I'm like, it's not fucking worth it, dude, to deal with all that and all that
He
heartbreak
needs to
and
chase
drama.
tail.
Yeah. Um, and you know, obviously I opened up, I was very close to my mom and I was just like, hey, like, I'm scared to get back out there. What do I do? And she, you know, when she
Yeah.
was put that on me, it was just like, you know, as long as you've learned, you know, you can make yourself better. She's like, look, don't worry about what they did to you. Look at what you did wrong, where you could
Yeah.
have been better. Be
Yeah.
better, move on, and be better for that next person. And that got me back in the pool. And you know, I had a nice little run there for
Yeah.
a while before I met my wife. And you know, I always tell her like, this is my best version of me, and assuming you're not going to leave me. You know, and she's like, she said I'm a work in progress. She's been working on me for a while,
Last
training
I
time
me
just
up.
realized something.
last time my mother-in-law came to visit, I told her that I had some complaints.
I had some complaints. I just realized something, and I'm sorry I'm gonna call you guys out on that, but I just realized that I'm the only one that's still on my starter husband.
Wow,
Yeah, I'm once
wow,
divorced. I'm actually my
wow.
husband's 4th wife.
Hey, I had
Uh,
a lot of lessons to learn. Okay, didn't listen to nobody. It was a classic. You know, I know better than everybody. Young and dumb, full of
My
cum.
husband was in the
You
army,
know, yeah.
young.
So you know, I you
They
know
get married a lot.
I look back at that first relationship all the time, and I'm like, you know, thank God that that happened because I was so weak. I was so weak
Yeah.
as a man. Like she ran all over me. She cheated on me. She did all this. I just took her back, took her back, took her back. You know, so I think it's funny. My sister actually called me the other day and was like, you know, so and so tried to hit me up on Facebook, and I'm like, okay. She's like,
Okay.
I will murder her, and I'm like, no,
Oh,
calm
yeah.
down. You know, like take
yeah.
it easy. You know, she's like, "Are you
So
not mad?" I was like, "No, I'm not mad anymore because I have my wife. I know what true happiness and partnership's like. I know that I
Yeah.
had never had nothing near that, you know, and I know we
yeah.
were young. Like I wish her, I really wish her the best, and I hope she does well, and I hope life turns out good for her." And
I
my
won't go
sister
that
was
far
like
about my exes, but
beside herself. She's like, "Are you serious right now?" I was like, "I have daughters, okay? Like I have a beautiful wife, I have beautiful daughters. Like I'm
yeah.
looking at this from the point of like they're gonna make mistakes, right? I'm hoping that I have some kind of wisdom to help them with, So
I mean, like, yeah, I am still with like my first marriage, but I did live with someone and I was in a relationship for 2 years before him. And I think that was my like really big teaching, um, because it was a fuck show.
Yeah.
I mean, it
oh,
was it
Same.
it was literally hell. He cheated on me all the time. We constantly fought. Constantly fought. I
well,
actually like moved out and I moved out over a weekend while he was at his parents' house. Like it was
oh,
terrible. So
that's the
I
worst.
Are
Sorry.
we
me and
living the same life?
he came back to an empty apartment. I even took the fridge.
I didn't go that far, but I
I
did I
took the
did leave
fridge.
while he wasn't
Did you
home.
pay for the fridge? Like, was it your fridge?
No, so the apartment I was moving into, like we were already like this was the last month of our lease, and the apartment I'm moving into, like the fridge was broken. So I was like, "You have 2 weekends here. I'm gonna be like," so I took the fridge. I took the fridge.
Savage. I
Um,
like it. I like it.
but I mean, like obviously, like that was a fuck fest. But then I met my husband, and we got married within 8 months of being together. So
See, I doubled down. I spent almost 3 years with that guy. Then on top of it, wouldn't keep a job. And we
volunteer
fought
firefighter.
we fought constantly, it was a shit show, and I did the same thing to him. I packed up and left, and,
Yeah.
then I doubled down. I was single for, like, 3 months, and in that 3 months, I was talking to somebody else, and then he convinced me to date him, and I ended up with him for a year and a half of an absolute shit show as well. It was, like, rebound to the T. It was ridiculous. And he
Oh no,
didn't see it. He
I
didn't see
remember.
it.
I remember my ex. Like I didn't really talk to him after we broke up, but once it came out that I was getting married, he called me and was like, "Yeah, your little rebound marriage." Well, guess what, Mister? 13 years and going strong. Fuck you.
You know.
Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah. Well,
You
that
are
That's
already
awesome.
divorced.
I mean, that's pretty much like what I have to say to one of my husband's ex-wives, which there's a lot to that, but that woman had the audacity to say to my eldest stepchild that me and my husband weren't gonna last long. We were like 3-4 years in, and I'm like, yeah, this November will be 10 years together, and May will be 7 married, 2 kids.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice.
Second wedding set, by the way, honey.
I know. I need to get money. I need to give her an actual wedding. I need to get some money together.
Did
That'd
you
be so
elope?
cool.
I will throw it for you.
Did you elope?
Yeah,
I'm an excellent
we
I
had
wedding
never knew
planner.
that.
we had
I
kids
didn't know
already.
that.
We had kids already. Like we couldn't afford a wedding.
We had 2. I put them on my hips.
I had
Yeah,
no idea.
yeah. We got kids
I
in the
wanted
wedding
to
photo.
elope.
In the
I
wedding
wanted
photos.
to elope, and my husband was like, "I really want my mom at my wedding." And I was
Listen,
like,
this is no
"Fine."
shade to her parents or mine, but like neither of our parents did well for themselves and were successful and in a position to throw any kind of wedding for us. It
Oh
was
yeah.
going to be out of our own pocket, So,
Ours was.
My husband and
my
I, we paid for ours.
We paid, yeah, we
I
paid for ours.
promised her if it was tomorrow or when we're 80, we are gonna have a wedding. I don't care when it is, But now it's just like there's always something like. kids. I mean, kids, right? Like, there's always something to spend money on for them. So it's always in the back of
Trash.
our mind.
I can throw
Trash.
y'all a wedding in my bar for
On 4th of
350
July.
bucks.
On 4th of July. We should surprise her. She doesn't listen to the podcast, right?
I'm
No.
serious. My wedding, at the end of the day, not counting my dress and things like that, but for everything that we needed with the decorations, the food, and all that stuff to accommodate guests, 350 bucks.
Damn.
My mom is ordained. So my mom married us, and we got married on the back patio at the bar.
I think everything for our wedding was about $3,000, but that included the rings, the dress, the venue, the photographer,
Yeah.
everything else we made. Like me and my
photographer was
mom,
free.
me and my mom
And-
made 300 cupcakes the day before the wedding. My
Oh,
mom,
no.
yeah, and iced them and made my wedding cake.
Oh, girl.
Yeah, all that. Like we had a very casual wedding.
That's the one thing my parents did do. My mom paid for the cakes.
Yeah.
But she did that because my husband and I decided to have like a co-ed bachelorette party.
We did too.
Yeah. So my mom had a
Never had one.
bachelorette cake, and then we gonna fix that too.
Oh, I've got plans.
My mom had a bachelorette party cake and then had the bachelor party cake. And I cannot for the life of me remember what my husband's cake looked like, but my cake, the gal that made my cake was trying to get on get a picture of my cake on Ellen at the time. So she had put like
Oh, yeah.
Ellen on the boxers, but it was a square and it had like on boxers and it had the biggest schlong just tucked in the waistband of it. And it was so realistic
It's
looking.
been disappointed ever since.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Don't talk about my sweetheart
Huh.
like that.
Huh? What? No.
What?
I was referring to my wife. No,
Oh,
yeah. I mean, that's just something that, we made that decision together, and it's something that I hate. I've hated forever.
Well, we've got
but
plans now.
We'll get it fixed. I figured once you two were in on it, we'd figure it out.
Oh,
but
we're on it.
backtracking a little bit to the whole X thing, and it's funny that you guys mentioned that you guys both just like left. As somebody that was super obsessed, like obviously, like you have to understand how obsessed I was with this woman in order for her to be able to cheat on me and me just be totally okay, not okay with it, obviously, but like willing to just stay there and deal
Forgiving.
with it. Yeah. I'll tell you, I had never been so low than to walk into the house and see it just gutted, just see everything gone. Like literally walk in and everything is like that. I can tell you, like that was probably the most pain I've ever felt in my life, to walk in and have that happen. Like that. Those moments shaped me now to where, like,
Yeah.
if we fight now, like I am upset. Like I can't. Like I have to talk it out. We have to figure it out. And of course, she's the type that needs space. She needs time. She needs 10, 23 hours, whatever.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
reset, cool down, breathe. And then I'm just over there just a mess, because some of those things, even though I've moved on and like I've forgiven her and all that, like some of those things, those are deep scars that
Yeah.
don't hurt for her anymore, but hurt for like the fear of feeling that again. So
Right.
that is the worst feeling, is when you guys just fucking up and leave. Like, let me tell you, like if that doesn't get a man right, like for whatever he did wrong, like, but then in my case, it was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Like, you cheated on
Yeah.
me and left. Like, what do I fix here? Like,
Yeah. See,
that
it was the
was,
other
like-
way with us. They were the
Yeah,
cheaters. So
They were
it
the
was
cheaters.
kind of
I
expected.
hope he was in pain. I hope he still thinks about it today.
I hope he's traumatized.
Yeah, like but I
Uh,
mean, in that case, as you can always call my husband, because my husband's the exact same way. Like
Oh, yeah,
he
you guys-
has to.
it sucks for you guys now.
Yeah, he has to talk it out, and I'm like, go away.
Yeah.
Don't even look at me. Like
I
I
just want to
need
act
some
like it didn't
space.
happen. I move on. My daddy always told me that I need to get glad in the same pants I got mad in. And I have put that
I haven't
pearl
heard
of
that in so
wisdom
long.
to use in my 30s.
Yeah.
I get glad in the same pants I got mad in, and it happens just as quick. So I dropped that coffee cup and I'm mad as hell. Well, by the time I pick it up, I don't even care anymore.
I'm just saying,
Leave
I
me
mean,
alone.
I usually get mad in one pants and then I usually get glad with no pants. That's how me and my husband make up.
That's how my husband is. He could be
I
mad
don't-
as hell at me, and if I walk up to him and show him my tits, all bets are off. All of a sudden, I have a superhero cape on.
Da-da-da-da.
That's right.
Yep.
Ta-tas!
What did we
I
do
think-
before stream? We blew him up.
Yeah. I went like this first, though. I was like,
I
I
told
think
you that
that's
was gonna
you
make the
know,
final cut.
as adults with children, I think there are times where you guys, and I'm not saying you guys, in general, you
Yeah.
guys argue over the stupidest things, and it never makes sense. But in that moment, it is everything, right? I told you to move the juice,
Everything.
whatever it is, like it's
Oh,
the
I've got
dumbest
one.
thing. And I feel like things like that, those things should be. I got mad at these pants. I can get glad in these pants.
That's
Like
fair.
to me, stuff like that does not matter. But when it's like deeper level stuff, like you're making me feel insignificant, or you're making me
Yeah,
feel
yeah, yeah.
unappreciated,
Yeah.
like those things have to be talked about. Because
Yeah.
definitely from experience, like if you let those build up and they build up long enough, next thing you know, you're walking into that empty house, and I'm not trying to do that ever again. Like
Yeah.
I will
Did
be
I-
your guys' problem to put back together and fix if that ever happens again. Just
I
letting you
mean,
know.
my husband, if I were to ever walk out on my husband, he would walk into for the most part, empty house, but the kids would still be here.
Did I say I don't know if I said the story, so I apologize. You can cut it if I have. But me and my husband, we got married so quick that
Yeah.
our first year of marriage, like we had a lot of adjusting to do. So I remember one of those stupid fights, and it was over a light. It was over a light. We had a lamp in our bedroom, and I worked nights at the time, and he did not. And he would leave the lamp on. I still have this fucking lamp. He would leave the light on, and he would sleep with.
Had mine
I'm like,
forever.
you are 25 years old. Why are you sleeping with a nightlight? And when we got married, like all of a sudden, like my electric bill doubled. And I was so pissy about this stupid lamp. I was convinced that one singular lamp was adding like $40 on my electric bill.
No,
And
it
I
was
mean,
the AC. The difference in the AC.
so we fought about it. And finally, I started coming home and the light was off. And I was like, oh, this is great. I found out this motherfucker was setting an alarm. So right before I got home,
Genius.
he would get up and turn this light off. And I came home early one day and the light was on and his alarm went off and I was pissed. Oh, I was so pissed. And we got into like
The
one of the
shade
worst
of it
fights.
all.
One of the worst fights we've had to this day was over this fucking light. And I was so mad at him. And I go and I'm like, I'm going to take a shower, whatever. So we had a Jack and Jill bathroom because we lived in an apartment at this time. And I hear him get up and walk to the other room. And I was like, Kat, you're married. You're fighting over a lamp. And your husband has walked into this room. And he's not even going to sleep in the same room with you because of a fucking lamp. What the fuck, girl? Like, you need to do some self-reflection. And I turn off the water, and then I smell it. He's actually in the bathroom taking a shit while I'm in the shower.
That's the one line we don't cross, my husband and I.
And I was
I
fight-
don't care. It's
the
a his
fight
line.
started again. I was like, "You son of a bitch!
How
You
dare you?
disrespect me enough. I am in this hot, musky shower, and you are taking a nasty ass shit." I was pissed. The fight continued. I was like, "You know what? You can go sleep in that other room now. Get on with your bad self."
my
I was so
God.
mad.
That's one of my biggest icks with my husband. I love him
Don't
so,
shit.
so much.
Don't do it.
But I wear dentures. I take my teeth out at night. My denture bath, all of my supplies, it's all in my bathroom. There's a whole other bathroom in the house. And when the kids are all sleeping, nobody's using that bathroom. But does he go in there? No. He comes in our bathroom and blows up the bathroom so that I have to stand in there while I'm trying to take out my teeth.
God.
And you two know me, so you know exactly what he's expecting when the teeth come out. And I'm
Oh,
like, I just
I-
had to stand in your poopery for the last 15 minutes. No.
No,
I think-
yeah.
I think almost 5 million people know.
This is what happens post the steak.
Yeah. I shit you not. Since my teeth came out in 2018, I promise you, my husband gets more blowjobs a year than like every guy that I know personally combined.
So that's an interesting segment to end on, and that's kind of going to be a segue into our next episode. Is our next episode is going to talk about why the fire seems to die out after marriage. Everybody says that certain things stop after marriage, and guess what? For you other idiot men out there, we have the answer for you. We're going to fix your relationship for you. Boom. We will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you guys for all the support on all the socials. Much love. Guys, make sure you guys, wherever you're listening to this, like, comment if it's available, and let us know what you think down in the comments. Much love.
Hooker, I will end you. Friendly! Not friendly, it's gun game.
It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. It's giving cat vibes.
I'm not the one in charge. That's all my wife. That's all her.